Our patient is a 2008 Subaru Outback. We're going to be replacing the front ball joint. So we want to jack it up, put it on jack stands, pull the tires off. Just to show you what we're working with, there's a bolt down here and then a pinch bolt up here. Those need to come off, and the ball joint can be separated from both the knuckle and the control arm. We want the control arm to be free to swing, so the manual has us unbolt the sway bar right here. There's 2 bolts, and then on the other side there's another 2 bolts holding the sway bar in. Sway bar can slough down, and now the control arm can be free to move in the position that we need it to. Another option is if for some reason you don't want to take it from here, then you can take it from either this one or this one. It's up to you. I'm going to take it off from the sway bar link. Just a little lube. Channel locks in the back. Be mindful of your boot. It should zip right off. Little pry bar. And we're free. Now we can separate the ball joint. This one's been a little dinged up, so I'm going to get a file and file off that shaving of metal. But it's a 19 millimeter. And the pinch bolt on mine is a 16 millimeter. Alright, here we go. Now we can separate the control arm from the ball joint using a pickle fork. You can get these from the auto parts store if you don't own one. Let me go from the other side. There we go. Few good whacks. Let's pull this pinch bolt off. Now that we got the bottom separated, what we'll do is put the nut back on. A few threads, and then we'll get it separated from the knuckle. Just a pry bar in between there, and then a hammer just to cause some vibrations on the other side. You can see it start to come out. There we go. Okay, separate it in that direction. All right, now we can release it from the bottom again. Pop it up. There, that's it. We'll inspect our holes, make sure they still look good. We'll get any rust or caking out of the holes before we put the new ball joint in. On the new ball joint, we'll just put a little silicone paste around the head here and then right here. Doesn't take a lot, just a little for removal in the future. We'll put the bottom in first, and then the top. Thread the nut on just a little. Wiggle back and forth and it'll slide in. If it needs a little persuasion, you can hit on the control arm just a little. Can only go up so far, and then we'll put our little lock bolt in. My ball joint came with a new bolt, so I'm going to use it. Just snugging it in, we'll torque it down later That bolt head's a different size. 17. All right, let me get some torque specs. We'll torque them down and put everything back together. All right, some torque specs. This top bolt is 37 foot-pounds. This lower one, if you have an aluminum control arm, is 22 foot-pounds. If you have a steel control arm like this one, it's 29 foot-pounds. If you took the sway bar link off like I did, it's just a pry bar under the link on this back side, and you can lift it up, and in its little slot, we'll put that bolt back on. The sway bar link to the control arm is 33 foot-pounds. If you remove the sway bar bracket here, those are 18 foot-pounds. All right, this side is all done. The other side is done exactly the same way, so if you could do it on this side, you could do it on the other side. I recommend if one ball joint is bad, go ahead and replace them in pairs. Well, there you go. That's how you can replace ball joints on a Subaru Outback. Just a couple of bolts, no pressing in, no pressing out, just the way we like it. There are two ways to get the sway bar loose. You can take the link off from the control arm, or you can unbolt the mounting bracket completely. I found it easier just to pull out that one bolt to the sway bar link versus a couple of different bolts. I think there were 4 bolts per side holding that sway bar bracket up. So 1 bolt versus 4 bolts. I went the easy route. But you could do either way you prefer. All right, well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. See you on the next one.